simple question. Great. I work at UNCDF, and I was doing a cost per borrower analysis on some of the breakthroughs that we have with the MicroStart program, like Card or Zakora or even Equity Bank. And I was observing the cost per borrower over 6 to 9 years, and I noticed that they didn't necessarily decline over the 6 to 9 years. Sometimes they increased and then decreased, or like even sort of increased all the way through. So I was wondering if you observed that with your MFIs, and if you did, if there was any sort of explanation for why a cost per borrow, which would logically decrease over time, would increase or decrease or whatever. Not decrease. For all three.
You know, a lot of MFIs, and not Equity Bank because they're very sophisticated, but a lot of MFIs simply don't understand interest rate risk. And they price it wrong, you know, to start out with. There's interest rate changes, and then they get caught off guard, and that's why it goes up. So that's probably what's happening. In the case of Equity Bank, we don't need to understand that, but probably, and even Card is actually fairly sophisticated, so I'm surprised to hear that, but that happens in a lot of MFIs where they don't look at the interest rate risk very well. But I will say another thing is that at 26% interest that we charge, or 28% that's charged at ABA, this is not what the market can bear. The market can bear a much higher interest rates, and many MFIs, you know, once they start getting into it for right reasons or wrong reasons, start charging a higher interest rate simply because the market can bear it. Classic example is Compartamos, Mexico. Everybody knows about that. Now, I would argue, and the way we look at that is that it is wrong to charge what the market can bear when you've got a monopoly situation. Now, despite my UFC, University of Chicago background, I will make that statement, that it's simply wrong to, you know, exploit the poor in that way. And that's where I think maybe for a variety of reasons, if you get the wrong equity investors in there, you start making the wrong decisions on the moral front. Now, let me also say this, though. I also think it's smart not to charge what the interest can bear. Because if you look at microfinance as a distribution channel, as we do, and you're trying to get subscribers or a customer base, if you treat them well when you've got a monopoly, they will be extremely loyal, especially this customer segment. And so tomorrow, when other competitors come in, and they will stay with you, even if you are 100, 200 basis points above the other person. And when you do these other products, that's when you start harvesting huge returns. So it's not only morally the right thing to do not to charge what the market can bear when you've got a monopoly, but it's also smart business in the long run.